In lesson 2, we learned a lot about completely randomized designs. Specifically, we learned about ANOVA tables, contrast, multiple comparisons, and power and sample size calculation. In this video, we're going to actually show how to do those analyses in JMP. So let's get started. First, we're going to be talking about the highway lesson 2A, specifically the highway paint data. And the first thing we looked at that I want to show you guys how to do is how to do this strip chart plot. So first we need to get our data. So we're going to go to File, Open, Paint Example, and boom, perfectly. The next thing we always want to check is that our data came in properly, paint is categorical, and reflectivity is continuous. So we're going to go to Graph Builder. We're going to take our reflectivity and put it as the Y, our paint as the X. And so right now we just have those dots, but we want to also be able to add the mean. So we're going to right click, add points. Now notice those points went on right at top. So we're going to go right click again, go to the second points, summary statistic, mean. And so now we have red dots. If we want to change those to be stars, we're going to come over here, make mean italicized, right click, marker, and change it. And you noticed if you right click, you have other different options. You can also make another line. We're going to right click, we're going to add line. And right now what it does is it connects through the mean. How we can fix that is by scrolling down on our left side of the panel, clicking variables, scroll down a little bit more, getting rid of our X's, and now we have a line that represents the overall. Again, you can right click, change the color, style, maybe we want it dashed, maybe we want it, I don't know, pink. Then once you're done, you're happy with that, you can click done. You can select it, copy it, and paste it into your Word, or you can screenshot it. Now, let's get to a more important aspect, which is how do we create, scroll down, how do we create this ANOVA table in JMP? And so how we do that is we go to Analyze, Fit Model. We're going to take our reflectivity, put it in our Y. We're going to take paint so we can drag it and put it in our adds. One way to look at this is in this model effects, this is where you're going to put all your effects. So if we think back to the effect model, we had our y's equal mu plus alpha plus epsilon. That alpha is right here with the paint. We're then going to click run. And we have a lot of this stuff, but we're just going to scroll down. I'm going to bring this up just a bit, or I'm not going to. And right here is our ANOVA table, which we can see is the same thing we got here. And so that completes lesson 2A for us. We only had one example. In lesson 2B, we introduce another example, which is the bologna texture. So let's bring in that data. Don't really want to save it. So we're going to go File, Open, and we're going to click on our bologna example. And here's what I want y'all to be aware of. In our bologna example, our mixtures were represented by 1s and 2s. And when JMP or any other software reads this in, they're going to see it as it's continuous. But we are treating this as categorical. And so we want to click it and go nominal. Nominal, categorical, same thing. And so that it knows we're using this as a factor. Then we also have our temperatures. So let's perform our ANOVA test. We're going to go to Analyze, Fit. Our texture is going to go in our Y. Our mix is going to go into our model. And we're going to click Run. We're going to scroll down and we can see our ANOVA table, which we got in Lesson 2B. Lesson 2B was more focused on doing our contrasts though. And so our question now is, how do we get this table? How do we do it? We're going to go up to your mix. Red arrow. We're going to click that red arrow. We're going to go down to contrasts. And now JMP makes it super easy. in that our first 6 mixtures were positive, and then our next 6 were negative. And then we're going to click Done. And so originally it's going to output this, but we're going to click on this arrow right here, and it's going to give us everything that we talked about in our video: our estimate, our standard error, our t, our f, and our p-value. And so that's how we get contrasts. Sticking with this problem, and now moving towards lesson 2C, we talked about multiple comparisons. We talked about Fishers and Tukey's. And so how we get that is, again, we're going to come back up to this red arrow next to mix. For Fishers, you're going to click the student T, and for Tukey's, you're going to click Tukey's. And so we're going to get this big table, and then we're going to scroll down, and we're going to get our ordered stats. Now in lesson 2, we were focused on power and sample size. And yes, we went through the video, but to make this video complete, we're just going to go one more time through how we got there. So we're going to go DOE, Design Diagnostics, Sample Size and Power. Again, remember, power and sample size calibration are done prior to your experiment. You'd put your standard deviation in here. So you would put your means, and again, this is where you're different. So maybe we want a difference of 20, and then you're going to put your other groups in the middle, such as this. Then our power, whatever we may want it, maybe we want it at 80. You're going to press continue. We're going to get a sample size of 23, but in JMP, this is the total sample size. So if we want the number per group, we're going to have to take 23 and divide it by 5.